Hi folks, I'm Tycho. Oh, I should start the game. I'm TychoCelchuuu. This is Company Heroes 2 shotcast, and we have Barton PL, one of the top Company Heroes 2 players, versus. Oh boy. Yeah, this game sometimes. I tried to move this thing onto my solid state drive. I downloaded Steam Mover, the program or whatever, and I moved it on over. Then it just fucking crashed every time I started the game. It was like, Windows is out of memory and we're closing this program to save memory. And it's like, yeah, but I just auto-matched. It only happened when the auto-matched game was finished loading, so I think I got like 2 or 3 losses on my record from that. But so now it's back on the C drive. I might just try uninstalling it and reinstalling it like properly to see if that fixes it. Maybe it won't. Anyways, this game's a piece of shit. And this is Gentle Fox HQ. Also, I believe a good player, but it's tough to tell because Relic broke something about the replays, or changed something about the replays in the new update, and that changed it so that replay uploads on coh2.org don't show the player's names. So I know who Barton PL is, but I can't click on Gentle Fox to find out how highly ranked Gentle Fox is. Anyways, Barton has chosen right off the bat this doctrine that gets you shock troops, gets you recon overflight, it gets you for Mother Russia, it gets you the passive howitzer, and it gets you a KV-1. So there you go. Probably pick this right off the bat to be able to call in shock troops whenever, but Barton is spamming conscripts, so it's going to be a little while till we see shock troops. Shock troops I've found extremely effective versus pretty much anything the OKW is going to throw at you. The OKW has an invisible commander thing, and also, oh wait, this is not the OKW, this is the Wehrmacht, or the Oster. But that doesn't matter because Barton didn't know when. Oh, he knew when he was choosing his doctrine. Shock troops are good against those guys, dude. Shock troops are pretty sweet. They're like straight up, like really close DPS. Like if they're standing right here, is off the charts. They will just evaporate people if they get in close, and they can get in close because they're one of the most durable infantry in the game, having more armor or whatever it is than other infantry. And Barton electing to send these combat engineers who are not going to do very well in a fight at all. There's pretty much nothing on the Auster side that they can take on, with the exception of pioneers who are stuck at long range for whatever reason, or I guess if the engineers get lucky with people in red cover or something. But yeah, so Barton using them to get some forward capping here, and does link them up with the conscripts. And we have mirroring the conscript spam on Barton's side, we have Grenadier spam from the Auster, from the Wehrmacht, which is a slightly odd choice on this map, Samoski, however you want to say it. I don't know how you want to say it. Notice here the Pioneers pushing these guys off with a nice hop into that building. I guess that's another situation in which these guys can maybe win a fight if they're in a building versus Pioneers. But yeah, now you see the Pioneers winning. So that's how the builder units usually work out for this, and nice job from Gentle Fox pushing Barton off. So interesting not seeing an MG42 purchased on Samoski, because an MG42 is always, of course, wonderful to lock down enemy units in this middle area where there's all these buildings you can throw your MG42 into. These Pioneers are going to see if they can stop this decap as well as they can. They're hanging out into this building so they don't get themselves killed, but that's not going to let them stop the decap, so they will get a bit of damage in on here against Barton, so Barton maybe has to move out. But I guess he just wanted to keep these Pioneers on the front lines and didn't want to hide them behind the building for some reason. You know, we'll do a bit of damage with the MP40s at that range. But so fairly static battle lines, as you can often expect on Samoski. A lot of fighting, though. It's been pretty brutal back and forth. A lot of infantry getting killed, not killed. I'm surprised Barton's sticking around with these conscripts. I guess this second conscript squad on the way to reinforce is going to help them out. Plus he wants to get the cap, but he might pay for it. They have to retreat across red cover, and that's... Oh, they're cut down, so that's really unfortunate for Barton. Meanwhile, not making any progress, Barton is not in the middle because that church is just that badass. Nice job focusing these Pios, though. A few lucky crits, and they'll go down. A few lucky penetrations, I should say. And they'll go down, and nice with the flanking conscript squad from behind. They're going to have to retreat across red cover. That, I guess that doesn't count as red cover. Didn't that used to be red cover? Maybe it doesn't. Well, it says red cover here, so probably it's still red cover. If let's select these guys. I guess somehow it's green cover in the middle of the road? That seems broken. That can't be right. That hasn't always been like this on Samoski, has it? Certainly wasn't like it on Samoa. Company Heroes 1. Somebody tell me what's up with that in the comments section. And if you're watching this like 10 months later after I've posted it on YouTube, don't tell me in the comment section. Fucking, like, every day somebody on some video I made like a year ago posts something like, hey Tycho, you're an idiot for not knowing this. Well, fucking, I didn't know it a year ago. Now I know it. Surely someone has answered that question by now. So going up to tier 2 now, which is normally pretty standard for the Austere for the Wehrmacht. I've found tier 1 to tier 2 for the Austere extremely effective against the Americans, because obviously you want tier 1, well, I don't know. Yeah, you obviously want tier 1. You want your Grenadiers and your MG42s to deal with their riflemen, maybe even snipers. I haven't really tried out snipers very much, and mortars can be also helpful, but tier 2 is really nice because the Panzer Grenadiers are the first infantry you get that can really stand up versus the Americans, and the pack is going to be nice for taking out the AA half-track that Americans love so much. And what's the Soviet teching looking like for Barton, who has not gotten enough CPs to get up to the shock troops, because Barton hasn't built any buildings, and building buildings is a great way to get CPs early in the game. You get a nice big chunk of CPs, well, a nice big chunk of CP. I guess you don't get more than like 1 CP, but this is, by the way, a really good attack going in by Barton. If he kills this LMG-42 squad, that's going to be really good. Barton repositioning, I guess, slightly to try and cut off retreat, and also if he moves around enough, they'll have to swap windows, and oh, cuts down an entire Grenadier squad. So now he's gotten repaid for the conscript squad he lost, and that gets him the CPs he needs for the shock troops. So now it's going to be a question of where these Panzer Grenadiers who just came out, whether the Panzer Grenadiers are going to be able to stand toe-to-toe with the shock troopers, or whether Barton's newly earned map superiority is going to last quite a while with what he takes to be infantry superiority. Let's find out. Where are the shock troops? They're still walking. Check these guys out. See, they got armor. That makes them special. And they look sort of like turtles. Weird turtles. What do you think about that Ninja Turtle movie? I'm not looking forward to it. I actually haven't seen like any Michael Bay movies, so I guess I'm not really in a position to judge. So here comes the Panzer Grenadiers. This is, if they get focus fired by Barton, that's gonna be unfortunate. Luckily for Gentle Fox, right now Barton is focus firing this house. You can do some good damage if. Oh, here comes the Molotov. I guess that was on the door. It's hard to tell. These Panzer Grenadiers wisely not pushing forward anymore. They're in yellow cover right here and close enough to do that. And here's a Molotov, so that's going to be excellent crit right on the guy immediately when it comes in. Beautiful flames setting everything on fire. These guys pull back very slightly, but it's going to be too late for them. They're going to be focus fired. Don't stand in the Molotov. Fucking dumbass. Don't stand in the fire. Yeah, he's going to be focus fired though by this, and even the Grenadiers aren't able to rack up enough. So, oh, here's a silver lining. These shock troops are being caught out. Wait. Oh, right. These shock... I got confused. I thought the shock troops were up there where the Panzer Grenadiers were. But here's their close-range DPS doing that work whenever they get a hit in on the people in the building, which is rare because the building provides the sort of cover that makes a lot of shots miss. But whenever they get a hit in, it works. And since they fire so fast, they just roll many hits versus those people in the house. So that's a good little tip. That's why automatic weapons fire is not the worst thing in the world versus a house if you get them up close where the accuracy is really good, because then they'll sort of have a chance to hit, and you just got to make sure that your units don't all die. But I feel like I was going to say something else. Versus the LMG. I don't know. So Barton a bit on the back foot now. Decisive infantry engagements here from the Austere, and that was without the Panzer Grenadiers. Remember, the Panzer Grenadiers tied up the conscripts up here for a while, but weren't able to do a lot of damage after that good Molotov from Barton. So we'll have to see what Barton's teching is like. Interesting, going to tier 2. Is he going to get a machine gun? Is he going to get a mortar? Probably that's for the AT gun. Potentially he's worried about vehicles coming out. He's seen his opponent really not teching to much in terms of fuel. He knows he's got the tier 2 out for the Panzer Grenadiers, but he hasn't seen any sign of vehicles or anything like this. We have heavy anti-infantry capabilities in the form of these two LMGs on these Grenadiers, and here we have an MG42. A really belated one. Might have helped him earlier in these fights versus Barton, so I'm not sure. Jesus, I was just looked at the resources floating. 400 manpower and 100. Oh, look, let's click this. That's much better. They're both floating 140 fuel, so either they're both saving up for something crazy, or they're both waiting for the other one to tech. We're probably going to see a Molotov here. No, we're not going to see a Molotov because he's got flames. Can the flames reach? Doesn't matter because they're out of the house. Nice reaction there from Gent Le Fox. Hukwa. The Hukwa is the HQ from his name, you see. This is a sort of a funny engagement. Gentlefox probably happy to hang out in this church doing damage, except these guys are at half health and dropping lower and lower, and they can only take so much focus fire from these two squads before things go bad. The idea is just to let these MGs pick away at the Soviet infantry, but the Soviet infantry there, that's a nice, well, that's an interesting but nice MG42 setup, and that forces Barton back a bit. Probably going to see Gentlefox reposition this MG42 pretty soon. What's his, he doesn't have a ton of knowledge about where Barton is at this point, so he's going to be cautious about moving it and repositioning it when any moment a attack, but now he can see everything because he's in the church, so that gives you excellent 360 degrees, vet 2 on these guys, and I'm surprised this thing's just waiting for a flank is why it's looking like that. So finally we get a bunker, one of those things you want to get up as soon as possible as the Ostherr if you're going to go infantry heavy strat. We noticed floating so much stuff, he didn't have the munitions really to dump into the medic upgrade, which costs 60, so it's not cheap, and he was dumping it into the LMG-42, so that's understandable, but would have been really helpful. Look at these Panzer Grenadiers, they're going to get hurt in the next fight. Look at these Grenadiers, they're going to get fucked in the next fight. The thing is, this low health is just really not that. Look at that, just instantly drops. If he had had medics, he could have been in this fight for much, much longer with these guys, but soon they're going to have to pull out. Whoa, just kidding. That was some lucky hits, I suppose. 7 kills on these guys, 5 on these guys, and another Grenadier squad. Brand new, squeaky clean. So just a shit ton of infantry, up to about 200 fuel for each of these players. Gotta say I'm surprised. I'm curious as to what the teching is going to look like. Nice little vault. Nobody in this game vaults automatically, remember. You always have to micro your vaults, and you can save a lot of time if you're like trying to cap a point or something. If you right click on a point, they just go off to walk over to capture it. Sometimes they'll take a long route to capture that point, that you can save them some time just by vaulting. Looks like the MG42 was repositioned. Those shock troops try and get a shock grenade off, but not an actual shock grenade. There are stun shock grenades, but well, the shock troop. Oh, here comes the flight. So let's see what Barton sees. Oh, just kidding. I need that on. And now he sees everything, but, you know, there's not much. This is an interesting choice for Barton. He doesn't have any infantry on the field to exploit this yet. He does see this fuel cache, though. Yeah, so Barton did not fly into the enemy base to check the teching. He's just going to loiter overhead with that thing. Yeah, really not 100% sure why Barton did this right now. Just wants to see what's coming. I guess it lasts for so long that he can afford to do it, but you want to use those things when you've got the infantry ready to exploit the holes in your opponent's defenses, or you want to use it on their base to see where they're teching to, something like that. Barton finally is up here, like now with his infantry, but even then, yeah, so he's busy microing, I suppose, otherwise these people wouldn't be back at base. I'm not sure what he's busy microing. I guess these guys in a mortar. So still dumping a lot into anti-infantry for the Ostherr. And as anti-tank, notice the Ostherr doesn't have anywhere near, like with LMGs on all these Gren squads, doesn't have anywhere near the munitions it would take to upgrade these guys with Panzerschrecks. That would be 120. So the only anti-tank that we can potentially see is Fausts, which are already digging into the already very low munitions bank that the Ostherr has, or the Pak-40, which is expensive manpower-wise. And so now Barton moving out with this huge. This is just an extremely infantry-heavy game. It's almost like we're watching the original Company Heroes, where these infantry strategies made more sense. Right now, with Company Heroes 2, you sort of expect to see a vehicle out sooner rather than later, and so finally Barton's getting a Katyusha out. These things were recently buffed in the latest patch, and they are a holy terror is what I've heard. I haven't seen actually any Katyushas in action because I've been queuing as United States using the overpowered rifle commander while he's free. I want to get my licks in with that thing, if you know what I mean. I'm a terrible person. So that's what I've been doing. Unit has increased offensive and defensive stats thanks to For the Motherland, which is going to hopefully let Barton, nope, just kidding, dodge right by the, wow, these guys got unsuppressed. So I guess For the Motherland is pretty sweet. Does this, all infantry map increase combat effectiveness, run at increased speed, and yeah, so it just makes them sort of badass. Trying to chase down the machine gun. Look at these motherfuckers. They're sprinting about as fast as you retreat. Then it's gonna lower your combat effectiveness after that, so there you go. They don't even kill one man. But yeah, here's the thing. These things I feel like are mortars pushed off. That's, oh, this squad is fucked. That was really bad for him. That, oh, he really doesn't want to lose this Gren squad. This could be the beginning of the end for the Auster player if he loses 2 Gren squads with LMG-42s. Here on this assault at Barton. Bam! It's down. Drops the LMG, so that's slightly better. Except Barton's gonna fucking pick it up. This is bad news. Go up, up, up. It was a race to the LMG, and these guys got it. And that was a nice grenade by Barton. Would have forced them off, but it was slightly too late. And now he's suffering the debuff, and they're tired and they're sleepy. And this thing doesn't take much damage because I feel like, I don't know, that's probably not a change. But it feels like kind of a change. These things seem to not go down to small arms fire very effectively, especially bolt action rifles. Oh man, they dropped the LMG also. Barton's better see this. It can be sort of tough to see from some angles, as you can realize by the fact that I didn't know it was there for a while. But there you go. So that's really unfortunate. So losing one squad here on the Auster is not the end of the world, but certainly has lost a ton of map control. Things looking pretty bad. Dumped some stuff into this mortar, which has yet to get a kill because it had to reposition. And another Grenadier squad out from there. Whoop, here comes a Katyusha. 1 kill so far. Well, it's at least impressive looking, and I'm sure it would have done horrible damage had the... Whoa! Took out the thing I was talking about, though. So yeah, I feel like these things are super resilient to a small arms fire. I tried to kill one the other day, just with, I don't know, riflemen, I think, or grenadiers. There was a bunch of grenadiers, and they were just not doing so well. Anyways, Barton has 155 or 142 fuel, and the enemy has 152 fuel. I want to see some fuel spent on some stuff. Oh, finally, good. Gentle Fox teched up to Tier 4 and has the fuel for basically anything coming out of this thing. I would be surprised to see, well, I don't know what I'd be surprised to see. A Panther would be an interesting choice because there's not a lot of tanks. A Panzerwerfer I could sort of see, but this is not like the greatest thing. I don't know. Counter Katyusha. You've already got a mortar though, so whatever. And Sturm. Okay, fine. Get a Broombar, I guess, is what he'll buy. I don't know. He's got the fuel for all this stuff. I mean, 10 more for a Panther, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see. Almost got the manpower for everything too. So it's clearly not a Panzerwerfer. We gotta see. Is he gonna buy a Broombar? Is he gonna buy what's his face? Where is it coming in? There's nothing here. Maybe pair this with the recon flight, Barton. Meanwhile, I'm curious what Barton's going to spend his fuel on, but I'm more curious about the Auster at this point. Auster making a good pushback onto the map, not doing so well capping-wise, but these infantry are just really tough to tangle with. No matter how good your conscripts are, they are always just, oh god! There are always just conscripts, so it's going to have to be the shock troops doing the brunt of the fighting, and this could be really, really bad. Nope, they're out. Maybe? Yeah, at that range, the shock troops not really able to do anything. So yeah, it's going to be all about infantry preservation for the Auster. If he can just hang on, get his Vet 3 Grens to a point where they're just literally shredding conscripts like instantly, because they can do that with the LMG 42s, especially once they're at Vet 3, which gives them weapon control and squad survivability while under fire. So they can start tearing those conscripts apart. The conscripts aren't going to hold up at all. Maybe the Panzer Grenadiers can also be in the fight. I mean, these guys are still alive, but the real key is going to be able to being able to focus fire down those shock troops and win the infantry engagements, which, to be fair, the Auster is sometimes able to do, and he's got the VP's cap and stuff. But now we have a KV-1, and we did have a Panther teched to by the German player, so that was a good read on Gentle Fox's part, because certainly the Panther was being built far, far earlier than the KV-1 coming in. Was that a... Yep, that was a Panzerfaust coming in and bouncing off, so remember, AT grenades and Panzerfausts. Look, there's a machine gun on the back. Yep. I'm not sure if that does anything, but, whoa, hello, here comes, look at that camo, that's some sick-ass camo. I'm in love with that. Okay, so that was a good choice. The Panzer teched to before, of course, we saw the KV-1 at all. Yeah, so now we have Barton popping for the motherland, and we're going to see if this infantry blitzkrieg is going to be enough to save... Oh, I was going to talk about the AT rifle, the deflections and stuff. Infantry probably going to own the fuck out of this thing. Do they have AT grenades? Yeah, they do. So he's just going to AT grenade. I guess he already did AT grenade and also deflected. So again, oh, here he comes. Ooh, that could have been bad, but that killed the engine, so that's good. So, oh, but it goes down. So pay to conscript squad for that. Might not have been worth it. This thing is not too far out. Is he going to try and satchel it? No, he can't satchel it. That's not the... That's the penal time. Is he going to try and AT grenade it again? That's got to be what he's doing with these guys. No other reason to keep them around. These are going to own up the Grenadiers, probably, but they're vet 3 in this house. If he can own up these Grenadiers, that's really good. What's going on there? He AT grenades the thing. Shock troops, yeah, that's maybe the beginning of the end. Oh, if they get out. They did. You don't want to lose the LMG-42. That's really bad. Oh, Katyusha's going to come in. Oh, this is going to be... Oh, good. I can't watch. I'm just kidding. Of course I can watch. Overshoots, so that's really good. Under left shoots, so he's oh it, oh god, the Pioneers are dead, so now he has like no good way to repair this thing. Lost the squad up here, it looks like, and that's pretty unfortunate for the Oster. So unless he can use this Panther to kill the KV-1 and then come back, it's looking like Barton has maybe got this, having wiped out one of those squads. How many squads are we down to for Gentle Fox? Just 2 Gren squads and a Panzer Gren squad. So he is going to get his LMG back, but Barton was able to repair this repair this KV-1 in record time, and it might be able to even take the Panther out. I still haven't been able to talk about the AT grenades and Panzerfaust and stuff yet, because we've just had so much fighting, but it looks like the infantry preservation, the squad preservation, is just not good enough on the Oster side for this to happen. Barton, meanwhile, doing quite well from the squad preservation side, most importantly keeping the shock troops alive, and also it's important to keep the conscripts alive, right? But I'd say most importantly, keep killing the enemy infantry. It's more important for the Oberkommander, or for the Oster, to be conserving his infantry in these sorts of fights, because it's the Grenadiers and the Panzer Grenadiers that are going to keep the Soviet infantry off the map, and they're going to keep the map control for him. And the more map control you have, the much easier it is for your Panther to go hunting KV-1s. Right now, you notice the Panther can't pursue the KV-1 even if it wants to, can't pursue this Katyusha, which it could basically 1 or 2 shot if it wants to, just because the Soviets have more control of the map than they really ought to if the Oster infantry had been kept alive. But anyways, oh look, we have a howitzer being built. This is a cool looking gun. We'll look at it later. Though, interesting to see the Panzer Grenadiers retreating behind the green cover. Oh, it's because they're being flanked. Good call. And originally a good call focusing on these guys, because these guys were behind the hedge. Then they came out around the hedge, so maybe it would have been good to focus fire on them. But these were lower number of people in lower health, so maybe it makes more sense to focus fire on them. Especially because they were on the flankings. I don't know. It's tough to know. But yeah, so the AT grenades, Panzerfaust, things like this, used to be they were guaranteed damaged engine, but many patches ago they changed it so that they can now deflect off the armor. So if you try and get a front, a rear or a side hit, that's better than going in the front. This is really painful. That's what happens. Oh man, it almost got its engine finished repairing, but the Pioneers were basically wiped out. The squad's still alive though, so that's better than nothing. The enemy has 300 parts. How did these guys have vet 2 with 2 kills? That's pretty impressive for those combat engineers. I gotta say, good Molotov usage by Barton this entire game. Don't cross the red cover though. If one of those LMG-42 bursts catches you while you're crossing red cover, that's bad. Here's the sweet thing. This can't move, right? Even though it's got treads. Very unjust. And it rotates without the treads moving. That's lazy. Did that even... It wasn't firing. Oh, it's got to set up first. I bet it's going to fire here. This is going to be fun. Let's get ready for some things. Oh, he's smoking. Well, I guess it overshot. See, it's a really impressive boom, but I guess if you don't have sight, it's not accurate, which makes sense because that's how artillery works. And does that just fire 1 shell? Then it reloads? That's great. So I don't really know what that smoke was on Barton's part. Katyusha not killing anybody. How's the vet looking on the Katyusha? Vet 1 with 18 kills. That's a lot of stuff. Is he crushing? I love it. I love it. Here we go. Crush, crush, crush. Yeah, I got one crush. I crushed a lot of people with Panzer IVs today, but I still lost that game. It was versus the United States. No, it was with Shermans. It was with Easy 8s. Remember? Because I'm playing the stupid overpowered Rifleman Doctrine. I was crushing people with Easy 8s, but then I lost because you got 2 Tiger tanks, and I just wasn't able to kill them. They're tough to kill, as the United States. So, again, the Austera, I think, can come back, despite losing squads, if the Panther's able to take out this KV-1, which, if you look at the relative sizes of the 2 guns on these things, the Panther has a big fuck-off gun, the KV-1's got not a bad gun, but still a little sort of diddly-sized one compared to the Panther. So, if he's got armored superiority, then he can just roll in, shoot the Katyusha, again, 1 or 2 shot it, and it's not like he can eliminate the infantry with the Panther very easily, but it just gives him a ton of breathing room. Barton, meanwhile, is going to have not a ton to retaliate with. Does have the fuel for another KV-1 soon, but it's going to be tough for the infantry. Barton, with all these squads he's keeping alive, it's costing a lot of manpower. Oh no, that's the German player being bled. No, yeah, that's Barton being bled for manpower. There's the church finally down. Oh wow, that Katyusha rocket hit right here and didn't kill anything. So there you go. Not a lot of splash damage on the Katyusha rockets, just like the walking Stuka rockets, or the TychoCelchuuu rockets. Interesting base rush here. I think it's a pretty good choice. He doesn't know what's here. Oh, he's just rushing in to drop what finally chose his doctrine. A light artillery barrage is going to probably decrew this thing. Falling right on this thing and really not even... Like, it's... Like, you gotta... What's even the point? You gotta ask yourself, what's the point? He's just gonna put conscripts on it. I mean, what the fuck do you think is gonna happen? I guess he wanted to kill it, but, like, look at that thing's health bar. You can't blame him too much, right? It's hard to know how much damage you're gonna do with those artillery. You always suspect it's maybe gonna kill something, but, well, now you know, right? This is why you watch shoutcasts. This is why you watch these things. You know a light artillery barrage is not gonna do bullshit to one of those massive artillery guns that the Soviets can get. That was a really good reposition on this HMG, I think. Now he's going to be able to keep killing and suppressing these things. Unfortunately for him, there's a second KV-1 out, which I failed to notice back when I said Barton wasn't doing so tremendous resource-wise when I was talking about manpower. It looks like a Katyusha just wiped out a squad here, and that means if these guys had not gotten away, that would be pretty much curtains for the Austera with none of their infantry preservation. But it's just, it's adding up. I guess the HMG, no, the HMG got out, the MG42, that got out, but it's just adding up, right? Like, the Soviets can just blob, or not blob infantry, but just send infantry off into fights like this one versus the MG42, and they get pushed off, but the inexorable Soviet tide is coming. That was a nice penetration on the Panther, and the Panther's like, oh, I guess I have to go back now, or maybe I don't. Maybe I can fight. Let's go it. Let's do it. Let's fight. Where's the other KV-1? Back there. Really hurt. So, yeah, Panther, badass, KV-1s, you know, they're a call-in tank that if you want to hit the oh shit button, you can get them. And in terms of heavy tanks, like, I find it's really helpful to have a heavy tank in your repertoire as the Soviets, so we're talking IS-2 or, really the IS-2 is a good shit. But if you don't have one, then, you know, what's the heaviest you're gonna, or maybe even T-34-85, but right, like, you know, what's the heaviest you're gonna get as Barton? You can get an Su-85, or you can get a KV-1, but that's as good as it's gonna get. Oh, so now we have the second Panther out. This is where you can really come back, right? I've been talking about if the Panther can just push through and kill the KV-1, now it's if the 2 Panthers can push through and kill the 2 KV-1s. Again, Barton just with the, look at the infantry difference. He didn't buy another Gren squad. No, these are the 2 remaining Gren squads. I think it's a really good choice getting all these HMG-42s, or MG-42s. Why did I say HMG? I guess they are HMGs. Getting all these MG-42s is a really good choice just because the Soviets are going to have trouble dealing with them. Of course, Barton does have the smoke grenades on the shock troops. He's got the Molotovs along with the URA on the conscripts, and he's got the For the Motherland, which he's been using to great effect, really, to try and get around these MG-42s. Not tremendous effect, but great effect. It's at least a tactic you can try using on your own. Not working perfect for Barton this game, but still working for Barton this game. So again, that's why you watch shoutcasts, right? Use For the Motherland, get around those MG-42s. Lasts for a minute, so you got plenty of time. So yeah, Panthers and MG-42s. Oh, nice crush. Yes, yes, crush more, do it. Oh, and Barton wisely retreats when you're between a rock and a hard place like that. A nice speedy little tank like the Panther can potentially destroy you. How's the mortar doing, by the way, for the Still just 2 kills. Barton not sitting still. So Barton has an Su-85 being built on the way, and little does the Oster know that this is the window of opportunity to move in. Has 2 Pioneer squads, which I feel like probably were sitting at base and weren't moving out. So I would even think about at this point. I'm just kidding. I was about to say invest in a repair bunker, but obviously that would be the stupidest thing in the world when this Katyusha is out on the field, having decrewed the mortar. And in terms of VPs, they're both basically equal. German a bit on the back foot, but whew, man, this is anybody's game to win at this point. Barton's Su-85 has just now finished production, so that means this is the chance to really crush the Germans. And the other option is to sort of wait and let the Germans come to you, surprise them with the Su-85, and get some hits on the Panther they weren't expecting. Maybe use this KV as bait. Oh, and Barton's got the recon coming in, so he's going to be sitting pretty once it flies in the right direction. Scouts a bit of the, now he can see everything, so now he's good to go. He's coming up with the Su-85. This is a kind of a dangerous location for it with his side showing, but boom, gets the hit, the penetrating hit on the Panther. Both these Panthers are half health. Germans pulling out, and yeah, Barton with his recon flight is just going to be able to move in at his leisure or not move in at his leisure. Su-85 with its massive range going to be able to plink away at whatever, and now the Germans are like, oh shit, there's an Su-85. If we can circle strafe this, we'll be good. These little things taking pot shots at the plane. If you can shoot down the plane and the plane would land on these tanks and kill them all, that would be a good coup. I recommend trying that strategy. Stop moving your tanks, otherwise they won't be able to hit the plane. Conscript's showing that they know how to work an MG42, and that could be bad if this squad goes down, but I don't think he's going to have sight yet. And the plane exits being unkilled, so maybe you could build a repair bunker in here to keep these things repaired up. I don't know, I'd still be worried about the Katyusha. There's the artillery. How many kills has it got? 5. And here's the Katyusha firing at the home base, so this could get ugly. This could get really ugly. It's too far into too much fog of war, though. Just huge amounts of base damage, I guess. Remember, it killed that OP on the cutoff earlier, so buying a Pack 40, so this is still anybody's game to win. It's been tilting in Barton's favor just slowly as all the infantry are getting killed, but he just isn't able to finish off these infantry squads. There's still the 2 Gren squads and the Panzergren, so he's still sort of in the game. He's got the MG42s, VPs again still sort of even, and really once you've teched up to these huge fuck off German tanks, then like the world is your oyster. Stuka's close air support. I'm not sure what he should really be using. Maybe tactical movement to get his stuff out onto the field. That would be helpful. Oh, get into cover. Into cover. In behind the green. I'm sure he doesn't see. Yeah. Hedges. So this is probably going to be a win. Oh, and he's moving too. He had them shift clicked somewhere else. So potentially if he were behind the green cover, he could get a couple good bursts on the shock troops. Even then it would be risky to stick around. So we have Barton again with the scouting thing. You can purchase this thing whenever the heck you want, I guess. That's going to keep him informed. It's going to allow him to use his artillery to good effect. This thing's still cooling down though. So here, whoa, this thing, yikes! I would not hang around there, dude. It's on fire. But he could stand to repair that. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! That's a lot of manpower for the Germans to repay that. Not like he's in a manpower bind right now, but that's annoying. It's also a lot of time right when he was moving out. So here's the first assault. We have a blitzkrieg coming in, and he's just like, bye now, I'm leaving. I'm off to greener pastures. Oh man, did he just get? Oh, he ran over a mine. Excellent placement of mines from Barton. That's really good. And now he smells blood, or does he? Maybe he's just selecting all these things and right-clicking. I think he smells blood. If I had to guess, I'd say there's some blood scented by Barton the Shark. Sharkton, whatever. He's sort of paying for it though, because between the Pack 40 and this other Panther coming in, that might have been a clever unintended bait. Oh, a couple AT grenades coming in, impacting off the front. The Su-85 gives a nice penetration, but the engine is still alive, so he could circle strafe, and now he's... Oh, the destroyed engine crit. That's really bad, having run over that mine. So now he's trying to figure out if he can save this Panther. He's like rocketing forward and backwards, and now the Katyusha coming in, probably going to decrew. The pack is decrewed. This is going to be really, really bad for the Austere player, unless he can pull this Panther out of here and somehow save his other Panther. I'm not sure what he's trying to do. He's picking away full range. If he can maybe clear out this KV-1, then he could easily circle strafe this Su-85, because this thing's engine is still alive. Is he going to try and repair? Under fire. Oh no, destroyed engine crit. Oh man, what the fuck killed the Su-85? Tell me what did that. Was that the Panther? It doesn't have any vehicle kills. What killed it? Was it... Oh, this Panther from behind! This guy limped forward and he killed the Su-85 from behind. The rear armor was facing it, so it was an easy kill for that Panther. This is Hero Panther. It's still at like 2/3 health, so honestly, despite the destroyed engine, is doing pretty good. This thing's gun as fuck, so now Barton has a glorious charge from the motherland. He's got this debuff, though, that he was using to try and win this fight, turn the fight in his favor, and here comes a Katyusha barrage, and it's probably going to kill this stuff, but is it going to kill the Panther? No, it's been limping back away, and it's maybe going to... Oh god, a huge fucking artillery squad shot, plus the Katyusha wipes out that retreating Pioneer squad, and I don't know. I think maybe a guy who's running away from the pack or something like that. But he needed that Pio squad. No, wait. This Pio squad. What the fuck are they? He recrewed the pack with the Pios, and before they could recrew it and get a new unit card, they got decrewed enough that they were retreating off. That's weird shit, but this is going to be the end, I think, for the Austere player if Barton's able to move in. Oh, really nice MG setup. Forced off that squad. It's going to force off this squad since they're still debuffed. Jesus, how long does that debuff last? These two KV-1s pounding away at this Panther means, despite really good penetrations from that Hero Panther, MVP of the match, it looks like Barton's going to be able to take this one. So, yeah, it's desperately trying to recruit this pack, which it's just fucking Katyusha bait. So we go over to Barton, we check the Katyusha. It's a Vet 3 with 49 kills and a building kill. 49 kills, my friends. I guess the Katyusha is good. And now the last remaining breath, gasp of hope, is this Panther. But it looks like this thing is... Look at this weird... The destroyed gun always looks really weird. It sort of doesn't quite match up with the rest of the thing. But, so this is the last hurrah for the Austere. If he can't make this Panther circle strafe, literally... all the tanks, and by all the tanks I mean both. If you can't make it circle strafe them to death, that's gonna be... Oh wait, that was just a Shrek. I was like, does he have a pack? Does he have a pack or something? No, he doesn't. So Barton doing the good old Soviet sandwich, the Soviet slammer, the classic thing that they did all the time in actual World War II. They just drive right the fuck up. Do that thing. So yeah, at best he's going to trade a Panther for the KB, and that's exactly what Barton is fine with because he's got another KB. They do trade simultaneously, but now this is going to be GG. Barton now with 2 KBs and Gentle Fox HQ. No, pause the fuck up. Good. I can still move my camera. Wow, what a crazy match. 57 kills on this thing. So people complaining that it's now overpowered, Relic overbuffed it, I don't know. But it certainly has a lot of kills. I'd give most of the credit to that to this. Like, this tiny stretch of land is probably why the Katyusha's got the kills it got. So what a game. The lesson here, infantry preservation is really big, and would have given him the map control to give the Panthers the map control to be able to take out these KV-1s, and instead the KV-1s were able to retreat. And so really, the name of the game, as always, infantry preservation and badass KV-1s. So if you're going to dump all your resources sort of into LMGs for your grenadiers and stuff, try not to lose them. And it's hard versus a player as good as Barton, but that's just the breaks, folks. Bye.